The Bible says that no one is good except God, and that every good gift comes from God. Goodness comes from God, and a good life comes from knowing Him and walking with Him. Not that life becomes easy or without problems, but it is filled with hopeful promises, peace through any storm, and abundant, undeserved grace. So, welcome to the good life, where life is far from perfect, but God is good. Come on. Hello everyone, thank you for watching. I wanted to share today about something I did yesterday for the first time, which was pretty exciting. There are some musical instruments being played in the background, so hopefully that is fun for the kids right now, and hopefully I can have a few minutes. But I wanted to share about Azure Standard. It's a company that I heard of on Instagram from some people who make purchases there, and they live in the south, and so I didn't think that it was available in the north, in Minnesota where I live. We got some drums going on. But I was looking for a specific product to purchase online, and I came up on Azure Standard. It was a good brand, it was organic, and so I thought, let's just look into it and see what the possibility is to get it shipped or how it works. And so I looked it up, and it turns out there was a drop location that's only 10 minutes from my house, 15 minutes from my house here, which is super close. And so I did place an order I'm really excited about. It seems like an amazing company. It's based off of a farm in Oregon, and they produce some of their own products, as well as they sell and distribute other brands of organic everything. Food, they sell fresh produce, raw cheese, frozen meats, pantry staples, anything. And then they also sell household items, personal items. So they have so many things. It was really fun to browse their website. And then they have their own semi-trucks that travel all across the country to bring customers their orders. So when you make a purchase, it tells you the nearest drop location, and the drops are run all by volunteers, and so you get a notification of what time to be at that location. Usually it's a house, a church, some kind of parking lot. You show up, you see the big truck there. They're refrigerated trucks, and everyone helps unload all the orders and the packages, and then puts them into different piles for each person, and you get to take your pile and go home. So it's kind of like a grocery pickup. But it's a really fun company. It was super fun to be there yesterday. I don't know why, it felt very exciting to go and pick up our things. So I'll show you what I got, but first I wanted to share that this is from their website. This is how they chose the name Azure. We chose to call our business Azure Standard to signify by the name what we are attempting to do. Azure is a shade of blue which has been associated with law, justice, and honesty. In raising an Azure Standard, we want to place an honest standard in the marketing of food. We feel that the correct way to effect a positive change is not to attack the way it is being done, but to do it right. We are dedicated to the organic principle of cooperating with nature, and we pray others will join us so that we may once again see prosperity in our land. Anyway, just a really cool company. I'll show you what I got. All right, so this is the main thing I was going for. This is a 25-pound bag of hard white wheat berries, and they are organic. My husband and I decided that we should start milling our own flour because the health benefits to it is just amazing. The flour that you buy in the store, it's mostly starch, but when you get the berries, the whole wheat berries, and you grind them yourselves and you have that fresh flour, you get protein, you get fiber, and so many other nutrients. So this bag costs about $35, which is a pretty good price. On other websites, it was more like $50 to $60 for an organic bag. So I'm very excited about this. I will talk more about that. I'm gonna order a grain mill. I still need to do that. And so when I do that, I will introduce it a little bit more. But I also tried out some of their cleaning products. They have an all-purpose household cleaner, which is fragrance-free, which I try to be fragrance-free in almost everything. Powerful plant-based cleaning. It just seemed like a good product, and most of their cleaning products are non-toxic. So I know you can like make your own cleaner with vinegar and other things, which I might do. Maybe one day I'll get to that level, but I thought it'd be fun to try this, as well as a stain and odor eliminator, because I'm always looking for a good stain spray for laundry. I just get a little lazy to do those stain sticks. We have to scrub and scrub and scrub. I really like something that I can just spray on and wash. So I'm hoping that this works. If it doesn't, it's a pretty big bottle, but hopefully it works on some stains. And then I also grabbed a toilet bowl cleaner, and these were all fragrance free, by the way. Most of the toilet bowl cleaners are probably full of toxins, so I thought this would be a good, less toxic option for cleaning your toilet, although I know you can use vinegar too. And then I got an oil blend. This is their 5 Thieves blend, so I think this is supposed to be like Young Living Thieves, but this was like $12 or $14. So it has clove bud, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and raspberry, and all organic. So I'm just really excited about this. I got some parchment paper baking cups. I have switched to these for making muffins because the normal paper ones, just part of the muffin comes off with it, and these are really good. So I saw these on their website, which I have started buying more of and decided to try. And then I saw a toothpaste on there I thought I'd try. This is a wintergreen one. Let's see, where's the English? Here we go. Tea tree oil and neem toothpaste. I don't know what neem is. Sounds like it's something good. But it's fluoride free, which I always look for, SLS free, gluten free, vegan. So yeah, I'm always looking for a good quality toothpaste. So this was maybe $5, so not a bad price. So I had a lot of fun yesterday picking these things up. It's a small order. I could see myself buying like rice or oats, things like that. They do sell things in bulk, so that's why a lot of people buy from them. I forgot to say that, is you can buy bulk products. They sell those like 5-gallon food storage buckets that you can store these things in. So I'm very excited. It just seems like a really high quality brand that I'm happy to support, you know, if the price is right. So you got to do maybe some comparing to see if you can find organic or something similar quality somewhere else. But at least for these products, I felt like they were all priced pretty well. Welcome back. It is 1 month later. I just placed another order and I wanted to share it with you. The main thing that I wanted to get was a big bucket. And this has a gamma lid. I forget what it's called, gamma seal lid that twists and locks. Come here, bee. I bought those wheat berries the last time and forgot that I would need a big bucket for them. And I was looking online to buy a big bucket and just found that Azure had a pretty good price. And so I thought I'll just wait and place another order and get one of these. So here's my bucket for the wheat berries. And then of course I did buy a few other things. We've been snacking on these raisins, organic raisins, a pound of them. I got a bag of brown rice, 5 pounds, just to try out. Some cane sugar, 5 pounds of cane sugar. And then we got some Redmond salt, which we started using and we really enjoy. It just comes from a really good source and we just feel good about eating it. And Azure had the best price for, especially if you're buying multiple packages of it, compared to Amazon and other places you can buy it. And then I got a few just gluten-free pastas to try. This Jovial brand I've maybe tried before, but I've heard a lot of things about. This is just their gluten-free spaghetti noodles. This one I was excited about. It's made with einkorn, which sounded amazing, which is a naturally gluten-free, or I think it has low gluten. It says low gluten index. I'm excited to try these. Yeah, it's just the only ingredients are organic whole grain einkorn and water. Pretty good. And then the last things I got were some like ready rice, which I like to use sometimes. Having something like this is so convenient. You can just whip it out. And these don't have any oils in them, which I always look for. A lot of these ready rices have canola oil, safflower oil, something like that. This just has water and organic brown jasmine rice. And then this one looked really good. This is coconut rice, steamed brown rice with coconut milk. It sounded really good. I love cooking rice in coconut milk. It's delicious. And it just has water, whole grain brown rice, coconut milk, and some cane sugar. I do usually microwave these, but I take them out of the plastic and put it in a bowl, sometimes with a little water in there so it can steam a little bit, and I do microwave it. Otherwise you could heat this up in a pot too. Oh my, raisins all over the floor. Otherwise you could heat it up in a pot or a small saucepan. probably with a little water at the bottom. You could put a lid on it just to steam it for a few minutes, and then it'll probably be ready. So it's always fun to go. We went yesterday morning, really early in the morning. The truck came at 8 a.m. so we got up early, and it was foggy out and crisp and chilly, and I don't know, it's just kind of fun seeing the people come together. I probably won't place another order for a while. I feel like, unless there's something I need, but I feel like I have everything covered. And one more thing I wanted to share just about the process. When you place your order, first of all, there's a deadline every month. It says you need to place your order by this date to get on that delivery. And then once you place your order, it tells you, okay, the delivery is going to come within this week. And then a few days after, when the products are shipped, then you will get an exact delivery date and delivery time that the truck will be there. So you do kind of have to be a little bit flexible or available during that time. You don't know which day it's going to come or what time. So I just got the email saying it's coming Wednesday at 8 a.m. Thankfully, my schedule is very flexible, so I can make something like that work. But otherwise, if you're not flexible like that, you could, you know, ask someone else to pick it up for you. Sometimes the drop-off host is willing to hold it at their house. You can contact them if you're going to be late or something like that. So it does require a little flexibility. I have an exciting big package here in front of me that I have been waiting to open. Fragile, handle with care. So let's open it up. What could it be? Oh boy. Exciting. Look at that. The Mockmill 100. Let's open it up again. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We got some settings, so you can change the coarseness or the fineness. I still have to read the instructions, of course. This is the spout where your fresh flour comes out, and I'm assuming this is where you put in your berries. It is made out of a recycled plastic material. I will have to read the instructions and learn about it more, but I'm so thankful. My husband really encouraged me to buy this. He's been encouraging me to start milling our own flour for several months now, and I was finally convinced to do it once I looked into and learned about the added nutrients that come with milling your own flour. Then I was convinced, and I said, okay, let's do it. It still took me a little while to purchase this, even though my husband said I could. I kept looking on Facebook trying to find a used one just because it's over $300, so it's definitely an investment. So I thought I would share a little bit about wheat grinding. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I just did a little bit of research as I was deciding which kind of mill to get. There are several different kinds, so I thought I'd just share my thought process, how I decided on the Mockmill 100, and then just a couple other fun facts about grinding your own flour. So there are two kinds of mills. There's a stone mill and an impact mill. This is a stone mill. So the wheat berries, they're ground between two stones, and the wheat is crushed like this, and that's how it's ground up. An impact mill has a stainless steel spinning blade that grinds it up like that. Stone mill also has a spout like this, and so you need a bowl to catch the flour that comes out. An impact mill has the milling chamber. It's inside, so it's kind of like you remove a bowl with all your flour in it and dump it in. And then the types of things you can do with it. So I felt that a Mockmill is more versatile. It can make cracked grains, it can grind up spices, and you can also re-grind flour, so you can put it back in again if it's not as fine as you'd like it to be. I think the mill is also a little bit smaller maybe than a impact mill. And then in the Mockmill series, there's a Mockmill 100, there's a Mockmill 200, and the difference between those is the speed. So a 100 can grind 100 grams of flour in 1 minute. It's pretty easy to remember. And a 200 can grind 200 grams of flour in 1 minute. So it's a little bit faster. I chose the slower one because I thought I'm not going to be doing too many things in bulk, probably just grinding a couple cups of flour at a time. There's also a beautiful wooden version of both the 100 and the 200 that's beautiful, but I didn't want to pay $300 extra just for that upgraded aesthetic. So I went with the Mockmill 100. I'm really excited about my choice. A couple weeks ago, I bought a huge bag of wheat berries from Azure Standard. It was the best price I found. I think it was $35 for 25 pounds. And those wheat berries will last for years if you store it correctly. However, once you mill the flour, you need to use it up pretty soon, between a couple days and a week, because it doesn't have extra preservatives or the shelf life that flour you buy in the store has. Now onto some of the benefits of whole wheat flour, specifically your own milled whole wheat flour. So a wheat berry consists of 4 parts. The chaff, which is what comes off when the wheat berry is picked. You don't want to eat that part. The Bible talks about chaff, how the chaff is blown away and the wheat berries remain, which is kind of a cool reference. So chaff, the endosperm, the gran, and the germ. These are the 4 parts. So the flour that you buy, the enriched white flour that you buy in the store, is primarily just the endosperm part of the wheat berry, and that contains mostly starch, some protein. The germ and the gran are removed because this preserves the shelf life of the flour. And so it makes sense, if you're gonna sell flour on the shelves at a store, you want the flour to be able to last a long time so people can come and buy it, can bring it home, and it can last in their house. That is convenience, and that's just fine. But freshly milled flour, once the gran and the germ and the endosperm, once it all gets crushed up, then the shelf life is very short. Within just a couple days you want to use it. So now I'm going to my phone because I don't have all this memorized, but it's just amazing when you look up the nutrients that are in whole grain bread. It's just incredible. Chaff is removed. It has no nutritional value in the chaff. The bran is the outermost layer. It has vitamin B, iron, as well as soluble and insoluble fiber. So there's a lot more fiber when you're using these whole grain berries. The germ is the most nutrient dense part of the wheat berry. It contains fatty acids, vitamin E, vitamin B, antioxidants, and minerals. Pretty amazing that you're getting this all in bread. And then the endosperm, that is the part, again, that's mostly in the flour that you're buying in the stores. Contains protein, starch, there might be some vitamins and minerals in there, but that is also what makes flour enriched, is because some minerals and vitamins are added into that flour to kind of replace the parts that were taken out from the germ and the gran part of the wheat berry that's normally found in bread. There are a lot of benefits. I also looked up just a list of the different vitamins, and I will read some off to you because it's just amazing. So it contains protein, carbohydrate, of course, fiber, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, copper, manganese, selenium, thiamine, I can't even pronounce all these, vitamin B6, folate, choline, beta carotene, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K, fatty acids, and then some that I can't pronounce. You can look them up. There's so many of them. So it's pretty amazing. I don't think we eat bread for those vitamins, but when you are eating bread and it contains all these extra things, I mean, how much more wonderful just to know that that's going in your body. And I think of the verse in the Bible where it says Jesus is the bread of life, and I just think it's just alive, full of all these vitamins and minerals that are excellent for the body. Those are some of the reasons why we decided to hopefully transition to milling our own flour. I plan to try to use it in sourdough, which can be difficult. It takes some getting used to. That's what almost everyone I've heard talk about it say. You just have to keep trying. You'll probably have to come up with a different recipe for your breads. Some people use half like regular all-purpose flour that you buy at the store and half freshly milled flour. I think I'll start with that, but it will take some trial and error. I'm sure I'm gonna try to look for recipes online that specifically call for freshly milled flour, because there is a higher hydration rate in sourdough recipes, so you're gonna need more water in there. But a lot of people say the bread is more flavorful, more dense, and some people don't prefer the texture as much or the taste as much, so I'm a little bit nervous about that it will have a different taste and texture, but I'm praying and hoping that I really love it. Yeah, I feel a little bit nervous, a little bit intimidated to start, but I think I can do it, and I'm excited. You do want to run some rice through the grinder before you use it, just to get rid of any manufacturer debris. That's what this instructions just told me. And so you do it on a coarse setting, run it through, put it through again on a fine setting. And it's also pretty cool, I just read that grinding, if you're gonna be gone for an extended period of time not using your mill, you can put through, I don't know, some kind of berry or something in and run it on a coarse setting, and that helps the stones to clean themselves, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but so you do want to run some rice through it before you do any wheat berries. But man, I kind of just want to try putting some wheat berries in, but the girls are napping, so I'm gonna try to do something else while they're napping. And my starter is ready to go. Look at that, doubled in size in just a couple hours. It's ready to go into some delicious bread. Now we're ready to go. We have 1/3 cup of rice. We're gonna pour in the top. We have a mill set on the coarsest setting, setting 10. I'm gonna turn it on and we'll pour it in the top. So this is how it came out on a coarse setting. Now we're gonna run it through on the finest setting. Look at that. Super fine. We are ready to try some wheat berries.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta get the baby. This is hard white spring wheat, I think. I'll have to double check what it's called. Let's get baby and then we'll put them in, okay? Okay, I'm gonna turn it on. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah, we actually got more like 3 cups of flour with 2 cups of wheat berries. So I guess I thought it'd be like 1 to 1. I didn't think about that too much. Look at that, guys. We have flour.
We have flour.
Smells really good too. Smells like, I don't know how to explain it, but it smells like how you'd expect freshly milled flour to smell. Smells really yummy and warm. We spilled a bunch of rice on the floor. My daughter went and grabbed her broom all by herself. Way to go, honey. Ready? Thank you guys for being here with me as I start this journey of milling my own fresh flour. I really enjoy it. It's been a couple months now, so I've had a little time to get used to it, and I love it so much. I use my flour mill pretty regularly, probably once a week. I'm making something with freshly milled flour. I do use it with my sourdough starter all the time. The texture is different, and I honestly haven't attempted to try to perfect that or anything. I just do my best, and the taste of it comes out amazing. So the texture is a little bit off, a little bit different, but I don't care. I think it still tastes delicious. If I am having people over or if I'm like baking bread for other people, sometimes I do like half of regular all-purpose flour and half of freshly milled whole wheat flour, just because, I don't know, yeah, people might have preference over the texture. I think that's the main thing, but it tastes delicious to me, and I'm really thankful for it. I just feel like I'm adding good nutrients, and I use it in anything with my sourdough starter. I make pancakes, I've made cinnamon rolls, different kinds of bread, muffins, brownies, cookies, everything, and it just feels a little bit healthier, and I feel better about putting it in my body, so I'm very grateful. It's been a lot of fun. When I use it with sourdough, I do just put maybe 1/4 cup or more, a little extra water in it. I've heard that helps. Again, I haven't really gone down that road. I think this is the first loaf of bread that I'm making with it. Maybe this video, I don't know what clips I filmed here. I kind of forget, it was a while ago, but you'll see the first loaf. Yeah, this must be the first loaf that I'm making with fresh flour, so you'll see it. But I'm very grateful for it. I'm trying to think if there's any other tips I've learned. Oh, having some in the freezer is amazing. So a friend, before I started milling my flour, she was milling her flour, and she gave me some bags of flour that she had milled of 2 different kinds, like hard white wheat and then hard red wheat. And so that was like such a gift to me to be able to try it and like see the taste, which I didn't really notice a strong taste between the two difference, but I also wasn't really trying to tell the difference. I was just using them. But having those bags in my freezer was so convenient for any time that I didn't want to start my mill up, like when my kids are sleeping. That's a lot of times when I'm like putting some kind of dough or batter together to let it sit overnight. So I'm doing it at night a lot, and having that those bags in the freezer. So I haven't done that for myself, milling flour and putting it in the freezer, but I think that would be a great tip, because once you mill it, you kind of have to use it. But it just takes a couple extra minutes. Honestly, it's not that big of a thing. Sometimes in my mind it's like, oh, I have to go over and mill the flour, but it just takes 2 minutes. That's all it takes. You just put your bowl under there, scoop your berries in. And another fun random fact I learned is it's not quite a 1-to-1 ratio of how much berries you put in to how much flour comes out. I thought it would be, I don't know why, but a little bit more flour comes out compared to like how much the amount of berries that you put into the mill. So if I put in like a cup of berries, I get usually like a cup and a half of flour. So I don't know, that's just another random thing I learned. So this was my first loaf. I made it into like a sandwich loaf. Tasted amazing, especially with butter, salted butter. It's amazing. I also we eat a lot of butter in our household, and I feel like it's not as bad for you as I kind of grew up feeling like butter was. We embraced the fats in our house, so we put lots of butter on our sourdough whole wheat bread. But anyway, obviously I'm not perfect. Sometimes I do use regular wheat flour or regular all-purpose flour, but I try to put some whole wheat in for some extra nutrients. But sometimes convenience wins, and I still do feed my sourdough starter with all-purpose flour. I know you can feed it with whole wheat flour, but I haven't done that yet. It's just more convenient to measure out the amount of starter that I want and then add in the same amount of grams of all-purpose flour from my bag or my stash. So anyway, that's more convenient for me. Maybe one day I'll get on the next level. But anyway, here I'm trying the bread, and I said it's delicious, and it really was. I was happy to take that first bite. And then this is the first artisan loaf of bread that I made with it. You'll see the texture. It's pretty gummy, and this was definitely not my best loaf that I've made. This is like the first artisan loaf that I made, so you can see the texture. I've made it better, but it is kind of what it looks like, more dense of a bread. Thanks for being here. I hope you learned something new about bread, and we'll see you next time. Bye.